Hi, and welcome to Carolina Varsity's 2015, after week 2, going into week 3, Pepman's best to last, worst to best, last to first. Go right ahead.
Oh man, the highly controversial best to last
Exactly.
that elicited several comments of we need to revisit where people are, where teams are, and this week we do have some changes. So here we go, starting from the bottom to the top. 22 Garinger, no change. Nothing else needs to be said.
No.
Number 21, I put Olympic down. They had a bye this week. More so because some people deserve to be moved up that we're going to get to here in a second.
Right.
Number 20, Porter Ridge, moved down one. They did play Piedmont. They lost. I forget the score exactly. I know they only scored 9 points, but I feel like that's where they are right now in comparison to other schools in Charlotte.
Right. They lost to Piedmont, right?
Yeah. Number 19, I put Harding up. They moved up 2 spots with their big win over Garinger. Very proud of the Rams, and they got a big game coming up this week against West Charlotte that we'll discuss here down the road.
Yep.
Number 18, Hopewell goes down 1. They lost 27-6 to Lake Norman. Game was close for a while, but eventually Lake Norman kind of took control late in the third quarter and got the victory there. Number 17, West Charlotte moves down 4 spots after their loss to West Meck 22-20. They had a late lead of 20-15. West Meck was able to convert a 4th down in the red zone, keep the drive alive, and eventually scored the game-winning touchdown late in that game.
Go West Meck.
And as a result, West Meck moves up 4 spots to number 16, just ahead of West Charlotte. With that big victory.
So far, I'm in agreement with you. You know, we're hitting like now the 15, but
it's going to change. Number 15.
Our opinion will change, yeah, just a little.
I got East Meck at 15, no change. They did lose to South Meck last week, but I still feel like they're right about in the right place. 14, North Meck moves up 2 spots with a 2013 win over Cox Mill. Their defense played well. They pulled out a fake punt to help them win that game for a touchdown. Number 13, Rocky River moves down 2 spots. Their overtime loss to Berry.
Yep.
As a result, Berry moves up 2 spots to number 12 in the listing here. Team you got to watch.
Exactly.
Got to watch.
Got to look out for these guys.
Number 11, Myers Park moves down 2 spots with their loss to Audrey Kell, 21-9.
Right.
Number 10, Independence moves down 2 spots with their loss to Scotland County. However, I still do kind of feel like Independence will get it together. They have a couple games coming up against teams below them in the best of last, and West Meck and Olympic. And then they got a big matchup down the road against Vance before conference play, which will really show us how much progress they can make from now until then.
Right. So those last 3 teams that you mentioned, I've kind of, in my mind, they're in a group, and maybe you could say 4 because Rocky River may be hung close to Berry. Mm-hmm. But you know what? You got to remember that East Meck had Berry beat
right
until the last minute 24. Obviously, you know, you got to win a game, but they played them close.
So maybe that 10-15 is kind of a tier there. Then you got 16-19, I would say, and then you got the last 3 is kind of a tier there.
So this week for Independence is maybe a reset game for them. They'll play Olympic, and maybe that gives them an opportunity to get a little bit of a push to do the things that they're doing, so a little more than what they could get in practice. But I do look for them to win big in that ball game.
And then you could kind of throw this team in the same tier, Providence. You know, they had the big win against Somerville. I got them at number 9. They moved down 3 spots after the game they lost against Vance. So you got a big win on the road, and then you got a big loss at home. So we're still kind of trying to figure out where exactly does Providence fit in this picture here. Number 8, Huff moves up 4 spots. Big win over Mooresville. We kind of went over that in another video you guys will see later on this week. Number 7, A.L. Brown moves up 2 spots, had a really huge win. I think it's 67-0 over South Rowan. I mean, we expected them to win, but that's pretty darn impressive. So
South Rowan, and they sometimes pound South Rowan around. So
no.
So yeah, go ahead.
Number 6, RG Kell moves up the spot with their win over Myers Park. Number 5, South. Oh,
so I was just going to say, I wanted you to get that one out there because I might flip those after having seen both teams. I think Brown's a team that can potentially surprise us. They look like they've got some good pieces to put together. So we'll see how they shake out. But I think they're definitely going to be a challenge in their conference. I believe they're probably a solid third. So I like what you got so far.
Number 5, no change with South Meck. Did what they were supposed to do over at East Meck, 35-10 victory. I think they're still, someone else to watch there. A lot of people are talking about them right now. Don't let them sneak up on you.
But I'm agreeing with everything so far, pretty much. Yeah.
I moved Catholic down a spot to number 4. They were off this week, but once again, most of these teams that move down are a result of teams that earn the right to move up.
Well, you know what they say: when you sleep, you fall. So they were sleeping, and same thing happened to Olympic. They slept. You got to play every week, or you got to fall. Okay.
So the team that moves up past Catholic that really deserves it is Butler.
Yep.
Butler, it's only one spot that they moved up because I had them at number 4. But we talked about the tiers last week, which really seemed to get under some people's skin.
Exactly. I think this might be part of it. Exactly. We're better than y'all, and I guess we're y'all.
So I think the top 4 is a top tier here. Well, maybe the top 3. We're still kind of waiting to see how much Catholic's going to improve when they play again this coming week. But Butler at number 3, obviously for their performance against Mallard Creek, very impressive, leading at halftime. We knew the Butler defense was strong, but now they've proven they're a top-notch defense here in the city.
No matter how off Mallard Creek may have been, if they were, I'm not saying they were, they're a very good, solid squad. So to hold them down like they did, I agree. That defense is apparently better than it was last year and the year before.
Number 2, Vance, no change, went into Providence, billed it as a big game, and they took the air out of that balloon.
Yep.
And blew them out 42-7. So I didn't see any reason to move them at all. They did what they needed to do very impressively. But I think we talked about it off camera. That gap that we thought was there with Mallard Creek and Vance
is way closer. Here. Yeah, it may even be closer. Exactly. I think Vance is impressive win over Providence. Of course, like you say, we got Providence has got also another team that's going to have to fall out or fall into where they're going to fall into. We need a few more tests to tell.
Right.
Somerville may or may not have been a good benchmark to set our expectations so high. But even if it wasn't, to do what Vance did against Providence is fairly impressive. That's we're not talking about I'm sorry guys, we're not talking about a Garinger here. So Providence, regardless, is still going to be a middle tier in their conference team at least.
Right.
That gap between them and Mallard Creek is, I think, a lot closer. And Butler kind of showed that it's a close gap between Butler and Mallard Creek.
Right.
So we got Vance kind of wedged in between there.
And then, of course, number 1 still is Mallard Creek, who showed some, moxie, I guess you would say, coming back from being down at halftime and pulling out that victory at home. Running game got it done for them. Bowman had a big game, and they got a big one coming up that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, you got to win the games, and at the end of the day, a W is a W, an L is an L, and when they go to seeding in playoffs, they're not going to look at how much you beat somebody by. It's do you got a W or an L, and that's all you need. If you're playing a 11-game regular season schedule, you just need 16 W's to be state, will guarantee you state champion. You can win them all by one.
There
So
you go.
that's right, Moxie. I like that.
All right, so that is the week 2 best of last. I look forward to hearing you tell me how I'm wrong, and look forward to seeing you on the forums and discussing it. We'll see you for week 3.
Thanks, and you know what? Tell us who your best of last is. Thank you.